Okay, so the next couple of videos are designed to take you through some different models for administering a classroom. I'm going to show you two versions of Microsoft SharePoint. Now, a bit of a challenge for me at the beginning of this year was to try and integrate some Office 365 systems into my class. Now, I find them a little bit hit and miss, and personally I find SharePoint a little bit fiddly, but again, I don't want you to worry so much about how these things were done, but rather what you like and what you think might be valuable in these models. So the first one I'm going to show you is my Year 12 class this year, which is, you can see here 12 English Brown. You can see all of my different SharePoints over on the side. So if you go on, it's a pretty basic setup in terms of what it looks like. What you can see here is just a calendar that I use collectively with students just to kind of indicate to them when certain things are due. And the students can actually add to this. So for Mia, she was going to be away for a week, so she actually put that up there. So it's a way that they can actually, students can communicate with me when they're not going to be around the place, and it saves me having to sign all of those annoying forms. You can see up the top here is kind of the interface for all of the different units that we have. Now, one of the things I've really tried to do with my classes this year is make them self-sustaining and self-sufficient, in the sense that if you miss a class, you can catch up everything. So far, we've done 4 different units, and if you click on the unit, so if I click on this particular one, it'll take you to a Microsoft Sway. So in all of my classes, I've been using Microsoft Sway, which is a great presentation tool, and it's really intuitive, and I like the fact that you can essentially just keep them going for a long period of time, in the sense you can just keep adding things. So here's one of my units, and you can see what I do is essentially for each class I put down what happened in the class, and here's all the different features, and here's what we looked at, and here's what we talked about. And then I also take audio recordings of all of my everything I say, so they can listen to that. So if they miss the class, you can see here's the examples I used, and here's me talking. So as you go down, and this kind of keeps going on and on, you can see here's more discussion. I usually put them in little blocks, 5 or 10 minute blocks. More discussion. Here's what we did on Wednesday. Here's some links that we used that were valuable. We keep going down. Here's a PowerPoint presentation that I did with the class that they can look through in terms of some information, and here's me explaining it to them. Here's an activity we did, and if you click this link, it takes them to different Word documents depending on what group they were in. I've got all of my all my content, everything here. So I really make this a one-stop shop for everything that they need. There's a video there with an interview with a past student. So you can see in terms of how I'm using this tool, I'm not just setting it up as a one-off presentation, I'm making it kind of a summary of the entire unit for that student. So they only have to go to this place and they can find everything. Okay, lots of examples, lots of images, lots of videos, all kinds of things in order to actually enhance and support their learning. So generally they found this really beneficial, because it means that they never miss anything and everything's available to them. And it also means, as a teacher, I can say that, well, I want you to go back and refer to this. And you'll notice I've been scanning down this whole time, so it's quite long, and there's quite a lot of detail and information in here, as I'm sure you can see. In this case, I've got what's called a Microsoft form here. So this is where they had to answer some questions for me, and that's just loading at the moment, but we might come back to that. But you notice this covers essentially about 5 weeks of content with specific lessons, feedback, draft feedback, and everything there. Okay, so this is one of the ways I've integrated Sway into my teaching and learning. And you can see here, so there's a form where I've given them things and given them some questions and something that was self-marked. So if I go back to my SharePoint now, okay, I'll just show you some other features. So in this case, you can see I've got 4 units, so there's 4 separate sways that do the same thing for all of my units, so they're all self-sufficient. Another factor is in the documents section here. So I've set it up so that every student has their own folder, so you can see here. Now, only I can see all of the folders. They can only see their folder. And then we've got the communal folders here, which have got, of course, the resources in terms of assignment sheets and examples and exemplars and everything like that. But if I go into one of the students' folders, they've got their specific stuff set up in there. So there's all of the assessment I've done for them. So you can see their assessment tasks. You can see what they've done in each unit. Here's their work. So really one of the real benefits of this program is the fact that students organise their own files. They put their drafts in here. I'm able to look at things and we're able to work collaboratively on shared documents. So when I open these assessments, they can see them as well, and they can put in their SACE number and information. And I can draft in this way as well. So it gives me lots of different options. And it also means that everything's in the same spot. So when it comes to me sending information to SACE at the end of this year, for this student, all I need to do is just copy, and drag that across into my SACE file, and everything will be set up ready for me. So those are the main features. If I go back to home, those are the main features of my class for Year 12. Okay, and generally it's been working fairly well. Okay, so have a bit of a think about this model and what you like and maybe what you don't like, and what you like the look of and what you'd like to learn about. And I guess this just gives a bit of a picture of some of the possibilities we could look at in upskilling our staff.